Over $35,000 this week, and let's take a second to talk about it. So I've been doing these weekly performance reviews, not only for myself, but also to help others, and just kind of keep us accountable for what we've been working on, right? We're working with a bunch of prop firms. Obviously, check out our link tree and our website, sixfiguretradingcoach.com. Check out our little prop firm tabs. If you're purchasing any, use code 6FTC or check out the link there provided. But either way, the goal here is to make 6 and 7 figure payouts with some of these prop firms. This is my first year trading with prop firms. All very new to me. I was very fortunate enough to be able to trade on live money most of my trading career for the past decade. So this is all new, but it's been a fun journey, and this is where we're sitting right now. So these are all prop firm accounts. There's a Dragonfly automation that we have in here too, but that's 5,000 or so of this 72,000 that we're up so far in the month. We've got 2 weeks. We're at $490,000 since July. Now, mind you, the 2 months before that, full transparency, were complete crap. I was using NinjaTrader and then TradeSync and trying out all kinds of different mirroring software, and let me tell you, it was a mess. But overall, we're doing pretty good. So that's July. To kind of give us an idea, this is where we're sitting. August, we've got a couple more red days. Still red. Even with the red, still green on the month. And I can go back all the way last month to kind of see. That's including some bigger accounts, some live accounts, obviously, just to link it in to see what's possible when you're not playing with prop firms and all the rules. September, a lot more red days. Still up 54,000 that month. Nope, 64,000 if I can read. August, we're sitting here at 71,000, and July sitting at 56,000. So that's including the good, the bad, and the ugly. This includes the oops, went on tilt. Last month being the month of October, I had a day like that. It costed me quite a few of my funded accounts across the board. I'm back up to all of those being funded, and now it's just a matter of kind of babying those, getting a lot of them past the trailing drawdown, being very slow and steady. Obviously, we had some really clean moves today. So overall, we're accomplishing some of the goals that we had set, which was, I wasn't nearly as concerned. I've had a good 80-90% win rate for the vast majority of my trading career, but that was also more swing trading, intraday trading, giving it plenty of room. It's obviously a different game trying to be in and out with the wicks and everything else going on. It's not always about being right in the direction if you're, stopped out on those kind of micro moves and true scalping. So either way, our accuracy is sitting pretty good. P&L obviously pretty good. That's up 488 according to here. And of course, the number of trades. My goal was to get this down. I was doing a lot of in and out, in and out, in and out. And I realized it's just vastly too many trades. So we're working on that, and that's kind of where we're sitting. So let's go take a look at the trades we took inside of our classes that we do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's see, this is Tuesday. So, I don't know. Let me start at the trades we did, and then we'll look at the big picture of the market. So Tuesday was a complete chop fest. I was looking for a bit of a retracement before I wanted to sell down. Instead, we sold down before we got the move that I was looking for to the upside, right? Both were right. It was just a matter of how it played out. This was a bank holiday. Probably should not have been trading. Went for the buy. Failed to protect and lock in those profits. Actually, I probably should share this before I review that. This is where we're sitting. Again, we've got, 82% accuracy on trades called live, up 11%, assuming 1% risk, 473 points, and of course, the value of that is enormous. So this is our performance so far for the month of October. You got to think gains of 40% beats any single thing else on the market. So that's not a bad way to be, especially not slow and steady, taking a couple of trades a day. So now let's look at the market. Tuesday, I took 2 losses and I failed to take another entry. I will say 90% of the time it feels like when tech acts up, it acts up against you. The things that can go wrong are almost always against you. This time it was for me. So when I took this trade, it only went to one account. It didn't actually mirror properly on my Affordable Trading Tools NinjaTrader mirroring software that I use. So this was only on one account, and then this loss was also on one account. There were plenty of opportunities to get in and to kind of participate in this sell down, but it's not what I was looking for. So I opted to kind of sit all of this move out. I did take a PM trade on the day, passed here, waited for this nice little swing on liquidity. So I was in and around here, brought it up. That was my major trade on the day, and that was it. Obviously, we weren't live anymore for this point, but that's our Tuesday. So if I go now to Wednesday and Thursday were both super clean. We had to kind of review the market and say, wait, let's take a look at the big picture. We were patient. I didn't participate in this first drop. Here we are we get in for a very tight move, well managed. I've been messing with some of the settings on my Trade of 8 ATM settings, which have been going super, super well. So that first move, we only captured about 30 points. Not bad. Second move, we captured a whole 90, almost 100 points. And then, of course, that third move, we were able to capture quite a bit of this move to the downside. So overall, 3 great trades, very painless. Again, same comparable story. We kind of ended up buying up. This was a little slower and choppier, but we did buy up after that nice move to the downside. So come Thursday, now let's take a look. Overnight, we bought up. But Thursday, I knew when I came to the market, I was looking for the sell. 100%, no doubt about it. Again, I didn't participate here because I wanted the confirmation. So could I have gotten in here? Yes. And just talking about trade performance, maybe not would have been a bad idea. But I've been working on being more patient and taking less trades and higher quality trades. Doesn't mean I'm always going to win them. So needless to say, I didn't participate in this entire, geez Louise, what is that? 450s. To 280s, almost 200-point move to the downside. I did wait, got a nice little move here. Okay, that was a very fair, easy to capture sell down. I will say I mismanaged this one. How did I do that? I have automatic trails that kind of come and step in. So you got to think from where we entered, give or take, 76s down to 23s is over 50 points. One contract knocked me out fair and square. But that second trail, instead of letting it just knock me out in profit, I hit X, which meant that second contract, half of the position came up and hit stop loss. So that's kind of a break-even trade, if you will. It's actually positive 25 points between the two, but still, it was a stupid decision in terms of mismanagement. This is an easy move to the upside, 408s all the way up there to 493s. I think we captured it around that 70s. It was 70 points almost. Clean, easy peasy, didn't get any more follow-through. And then, of course, our final move for class time was here. That's 380s all the way down there to... Oh, we were looking for the 220s to 250s. I didn't stay in quite to the 250s, but we got a nice chunk of that to the downside. So that is, what, 174s down to 209s. It's almost 180 points, right? That's a very, very big move to the downside. So it did continue to sell throughout the day, obviously, for those of you guys who participated. Overall moved 2 or 3 times our targets, and then now since then we're just kind of forming out this flag pattern. So talking about the big picture and what we're looking for now, I'm going to go all the way up to the 1 hour time frame. We knew this was our target. We were just waiting for it to hit, and now I'm going to remove all drawings, all indicators. We don't need any of that. And take a look. All indicators are off. Remember, here's our gap up on Friday. So Sunday opens, we gapped up, decent gap. Here's Monday. We are now failing to go take any liquidity to the upside. So we don't take out this high, or this high. We do make a high, but we don't actually take anything. So we know kind of we're going to consolidate and or target low. But now come Tuesday, also bank holiday, what happens? We don't even take this lower side. So we're now officially consolidating and getting into a smaller range come overnight Tuesday. So kind of into Wednesday morning, we come and make equal highs to our last Thursday high. But again, we don't have any follow through. We literally make equal highs and go nowhere. Obviously, Wednesday morning, we have that nice tank to the downside. But what happens on Wednesday? We again fail to make any bit of a lower low. So now we're just inside of this range where we kind of made equal highs, but we're making higher technical lows in all fairness. Now, come overnight to Wednesday, we didn't even bother to try to top that upside. This was the perfect overnight trade. If you're up or live in London, you have a great time frame. But for the rest of us, we didn't come to participate in this market until somewhere around in here. But the time today opened, man, great, perfect move. We know where our next targets are. We know no matter what, this is kind of where we're going. We've pushed past that drastically. We obviously closed. Our closing price for the day was $25,084. Now that we're here, just something to kind of point out, there's still gaps, regular trading range gaps. There's still quite a bit of gaps. So we've now officially filled this one. That's fantastic. Does that mean we can come up? Yeah, sure. Starting into next week, now that we're kind of below the 50% of this leg to the upside, we're below that. So if we come back into this area, that kind of 250s, 25,250s, and fail to continue moving higher, I would be looking to potentially take out the 24,680s, 24,700s. that would be my next target. But it's really going to depend if I go back, well, before I go back to the extended trading hours, remember, we've built this gap, but now we've got another gap up here, up to the 590s, and we've got another gap up here to the 26,000s. So what's the next play, right? Going back to the electronic trading hours, let's take a peek. Take a really good look. I want to see something that looks like this. So I'm going to measure from this leg down. As long as we're staying preferably below this area. Like I'd like to stay below 50% of this big move to the upside. But to give it plenty of room, as long as we're staying below the 390s, 400s, 25,400s, I would be looking to kind of sell and potentially come take this liquidity before we go buy up. But if we do manage to break above the 250s, my next targets, my next smart targets are not only going to be this imbalance, which literally traded right through, had no stop at all, but it's also going to be right here at that kind of 62%, because that's not a bad trade, right? 250s all the way up there to 380s. It's 130 points. This is going to be my decision point on the smaller time frame to say, hey, if we're breaking above and retesting, now I'm looking to fill those gaps at the 26,500s. We've got some overnight gaps at multiple areas. So just to have those marked up on our screen, I'm going to remove this fib, delete. Actually, there's so many things I could delete, but one thing at a time. One at a time. I know it's choppy. I'm going to remove these. I just want to mark up the gaps so we know what those next targets are. So 50% of October has officially been hit. That's beautiful. 50% of that low to high has officially been hit. So we're now below halfway of last month. That's very telling. So we'll really want to pay attention to what price is doing here. But I'm going to go ahead and take this imbalance, if it will let me grab it, and pull it all the way up here. Because our next major imbalance is going to be here. This is going to be our next major target. So we've got an imbalance here. And then, of course, we've got another one even higher up. Right here. Just so we know what those targets are. So really, I'm going to be using my 5-minute entry. Problem with it is not every day is it perfect, because obviously it's going to put you in later. And that kind of sucks compared to the smaller time frame. But it's also giving me a more confirmed entry. And most importantly, I don't know if it's more important or not, but maybe it is. Definitely more confirmed entry, but it's also giving me more patience to decide to sit through the trade and let it play out until it hits my hey, this trade is no longer valid. I think that's super, super valuable. So from where price is currently sitting, I'm going to go now back to electronic trading hours. We're up on the 1 hour time frame. To give us an idea, we've got a nice imbalance here and a nice imbalance here. So again, our decision-making point is going to be getting past this 25 50s, 250s, 25 250s here. If we get back above the 62%, I'm going to be targeting here. If we're breaking above this, obviously we have some internal liquidity. And then, of course, our next imbalance. So either target's realistic, the 24,700s, or all the way up in there. Now we're just going to go where price goes. But for right now, all signs point to bearish, and tomorrow is Friday. So really excited to see how next week plays out on the bigger picture, and just to kind of go along for the ride. We'll see. We'll see how this next November kind of closes, if we're going to come take this level before we push up or not. So hopefully this content is helpful for you. As always, if you have not already done so, like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to participate in everything that we're doing and building, definitely check out our website, sixfiguretradingcoach.com. It is worth its weight in gold. I must say, actually, as well, that we have people who are passing their entire firms. They pass prop firms with our automated breakout strategy. So I'm excited for them to get their first payouts. It's been a process. We've been in testing and beta mode, but very exciting across the board. And of course, we've got a little bit of other automation in the works that I'm super excited to get released to you guys. So happy trading, happy Thursday. Go do something fun and amazing up off the charts and off the computers. And I will see you guys on the charts next week. Take care and God bless.